Hi, beautiful people. Today I'm back with another specific book recommendation video. Can you guess which one? I mean, you already saw the title, but I'm wearing red. So, forbidden romance. Like I love this trope. I know I say this all the time, but this is the only trope that makes me giggle so bad and just it just makes me want to rush under the blankets and like hide from the world, and I just want to read. I just don't want to put this book down whenever it is this trope, I spend an hour, probably more, scouring my Goodreads, curating the list. I'm so proud of myself that I just divided all the books in this neat little boxes. Like, it is forbidden because he's her older brother's best friend, and her brother knows that he's a psycho, so he doesn't want her little sister to be with him. Or sometimes it is like age gap, sometimes it is like her ex's dad, or sometimes uh, it is like one of them is engaged, one of them is married, and like very specific, like also dark romance, like also mystery. I have like divided all of it into this like neat little like tropes. And we are going to have so much fun like together. You're going to get some good recommendations, and I'm going to have so much fun recommending you. Like, wow. um I'm going to recommend you the forbidden romance kind of, which is like, oh my god, we shouldn't be doing this is so wrong, but one of them is like, but it feels so good. It's kind of like that, what I'm going to recommend. So welcome to my channel. I'm Nehal. I love books, I love recommending books, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Please subscribe, like, comment, go out of town, do whatever you want. Just engage, and it just lets me know, it motivates me to make more videos. And I'm so grateful that I have like reached some milestones, and it is not like a big milestone, but I'm so proud of myself that I'm getting all the engagement that I'm getting, and all the comments and all the likes and all the people who are like sliding into my DMs and telling me that I'm doing such a good job. So thank you so much for that. Anyways, let me just start this video because I cannot wait. I cannot even sit right now. I'm so excited. So, first of all, I'm going to mention some underrated books, and then I'm going to mention gradually drift towards the like popular ones, and then I will also recommend some soft romance, some dark romance, some age gap, and all of that, some mafia. Okay, so yeah, I've tempted you enough, right? Like, let me just start this video. So, first of all, I'm going to mention the age gap forbidden romance. Like, I know it's your favorite. Like, I have to. So the first book I want to recommend, I did talk about it in one of my videos. I think I talked about it in the video that I filmed about all the books that I read in 2023. So the first book I want to recommend is Your Dad Will Do by Katie Roberts. I'll list here. Oh my god, like it's such a good book. It's very short. It's a novella. It has like very few chapters. It is forbidden because he is her cheating ex-boyfriend's ex-fiance's dad. And they always had this kind of like angst going on. They were always attracted to each other, but like obviously they couldn't give in because she was engaged to his son. Of all people, it's really delicious how forbidden it is. It's really steamy as well. uh, yeah, there are also some kinks that I don't think everyone would be okay with, but if you love forbidden romance, you'll probably eat it up. So that. And the next book I want to recommend is Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. Like, if forbidden romance trope is mentioned, this book has to be there, right? Also, again, her ex's dad, major age gap, like she's 19, he's 38. I was really like skeptical going into this book because this is probably the first forbidden romance book I have ever read. I think I read it like year ago or like 2 years ago. I don't remember, but I remember that how steamy, delicious, forbidden, filthy it was. Um, I'm not going to like go too deep into the story because it's popular already. So I'll start listing the books. The next book. Again, another book that I was recently recommended by my friend Rushdi. I'll link her bookstagram. She's amazing. Uh, in the description box. It's called Good Girl by Mila Crawford. This is forbidden because, again, he's double her age. She's 19 or 20, I think, and he is also her professor. This is like kind of like a spicy little novella, and I think I should mention this. I'm actually currently reading this. It's really steamy. Another book I want to mention is Credence by Penelope Douglas. This book is like forbidden romance pro max times 1,000. Like, I don't even know what to say. It is reverse harem. It is actually 18-year-old girl and her step uncle and her step cousin brothers. I know, they are not related by blood, and it is so deliciously forbidden. It is so filthy. Like, you would feel guilty for even liking it. This is like a guilty pleasure, and there are like two types of people who actively hate this book, and there are people who actively promote this book, like, go read this book, like, go read this book. So I think I fall into the category of I love this book. I know, like, morally I realize that this is wrong, and this is really really wrong, and I shouldn't even be reading this, or forget about talking about it and promoting it. I shouldn't even be reading this book, but it's like so filthy and so forbidden. The next book I want to recommend is Priest by Sierra Simone. It's forbidden because he is a priest, as the title mentions, and she actually comes as comes in the church to confess her sins and falls for the priest. It is so, again, it is like, there is plot obviously, but the plot is minimal, and it's smut is the hero of this book. You know what I mean. Like, it's, again, I know I'm repeating this, but it's like it's deliciously forbidden. It's so smutty, so steamy, spicy AF, and the FMC was a stripper, and so it's like priest and a stripper. I know it kind of sounds like, but the story is amazing. I know there are some people out there who are like, oh, I don't like this. It's basically smart, but that's the point. That's the point. You know what I mean? Like, if you're in this type of mood, then you should probably read this book. It's not that long, and it's like very to the point, and there are scenes that I can't get out of my head. Like, oh, so good. Another book I want to recommend, Heartless by Elsie Silver, is, again, a lot of age gap, single dad, nanny. He's probably in his 40s and she's 25 or 26, and it is a small town romance. There's found family in this. The His kid is so cute. I know kids in books sometimes can be annoying, but his kid is so cute. I loved her scenes with his kid, and it's so wholesome as well, and the smart is there, and it is forbidden, like, I'm telling you. But it's very very slow burn. Like, when you're waiting for something to happen, like, oh my god, when are they gonna give in, when is it going to happen? It's that type of book. Also, it's grumpy sunshine. Like, he is so grumpy. Like, he doesn't even speak to people. He's always mean, and she's like a fireball, and she's a redhead. She's so sunshine, and she's like, I won't take shit from you. And it's amazing. The banter is amazing. The slow burn, the smart, amazing. Another book I want to recommend is "Tis the Season for Revenge" by Morgan Elizabeth. This book is something else. It is, again, there is age gap, and it is forbidden because he is her cheating ex's boss. Like, he cheats on her, so she gets with his boss, type of trope going on. And Damien is so like, oh, he's so dreamy and so wholesome and so hard. Like, I can't stop thinking about him even now. Like, it has been a year since I read this book, and I'm like, Damien, Damien Martinez is something else. Um, there's a lot of steam. There's wholesomeness, and there's forbidden romance. The fact that she's taking her revenge. It's just so incredibly satisfying for me to read, and it would probably for you as well. Like it's so entertaining. Then I want to recommend some mafia romance. Like why not? I want to recommend Bound by Temptation by Cora Riley. It's part of a series, like companion novel, sort of Born in Blood slash Camorra Chronicles. But this particular book falls under the forbidden romance trope because he is a soldier in the mafia family, and she is like the mafia princess. She's the daughter of this Scuderi family, which is very like world renowned and famous, and they are very dangerous. And she's supposed to be marrying some capo or someone from, high post, like some consignor. I don't know if I'm mispronouncing it. I'm sorry, but he's supposed to marry someone from the higher ranks, but she ends up falling for this soldier. She always had a crush on him since she was like 13, 14. And so it's kind of like bodyguard romance, and she had a crush on him, so it's a little bit like she falls first but he falls harder. There's forbidden romance. No one knows. It's kind of like a secret relationship. They are hiding from each other. I want to recommend is Brutal Prince by Sophie Lark. It's more of like an enemies to lovers, mafia romance, marriage of convenience trope, but it also falls under forbidden romance because they are enemies. And even if they are marrying each other because of their families, but they are not supposed to, fall in love with each other or like have this enemies with benefits relationship because they are actually enemies. So it kind of falls under the forbidden romance trope. There are many like touch her and you die, like my wife type of scenes, like possessive scenes. It's steamy as well. There is a lot of enemies to lovers banter. So there you go. Another one I want to recommend is Gothicana by Runix because he is her professor. There's not much of an age gap, 5 or 6 years, but like student professor, it's forbidden romance. Come on. There's a lot of spooky plot mystery going on about this castle that the university is located. It's very spooky and kind of like it has that gothic vibe, you know. I I remember talking about this book specifically in detail in my specific recommendations video. I'll link it in the description box so you'll know more about it. Then I want to recommend Verity by Colin Hoover. I know it's like really popular and everyone has read it. It is so fucked up. Like it is messed up, the whole plot. It is so spooky and scary, and it's messed up. That's the only word for it. And it is forbidden because she, like our female main character, is an author, and she goes to this castle where she has to finish a book which is written by another woman, and the woman is currently in coma, and so she has to live with that woman, that sick woman's family, her husband and her kid. And oh my god, it is the love story romance. It is the romance between this our female character and the sick woman's husband. So obviously it's forbidden, and it is forbidden pro max, I'm telling you, because he's already married to her. So what if she's sick? But oh my god, this the steamy scenes, the spice in this book is like something else, and it's so scary and spooky. It has some gothic vibe as well. Like it is the type of book that you should be reading around Halloween, like in October. You know what I mean? Like it's so spooky. But I remember enjoying this book so much. I remember reading it and thinking, oh my god, this is so messed up, but I can't stop reading it. Also, if you have read it, like, do tell me that which team you're into, like team manuscript or team letter. If you have read it, you probably know what I'm talking about. The next book I want to recommend is a little bit of fantasy. It is fantasy. Neon Gods by Katie Robert. Again, it is forbidden because they're enemies. It is a Hades Persephone retelling. So obviously he is the enemy of her family. So because of that, it's forbidden. There's marriage of convenience, a lot of like smutty chapters, a lot of graphic smut in this book. So that's that. And another one I want to recommend is Morally Ambiguous by Veronica Lancet. It is brother's best friend. There's 10 years of age gap. He's 30, she's 20. And it is forbidden because he is her brother's, older brother's best friend, and her older brother knows that. He's a psycho. He's so messed up. And her little sister shouldn't be falling in love with him or spending time with him even. So because of that, it's really forbidden. It's basically a secret relationship. No one knows that they are actually like she is getting out of the house at night, like she's really like climbing out of the window and going to meet him, and they're like spending all these nights together, like running around, driving around the city and spending time and gradually falling in love. It's so psychotic. It's really really dark, so check trigger warnings, but it is forbidden romance for sure. The another one is Teased by Melanie Harlow. It's childhood enemies to lovers, and they are she is going somewhere. She is going to a meeting somewhere which is very important, but there is going to be a lot of snowfall, so he volunteers to go with her just to keep her safe, because they're childhood enemies and they know each other since childhood, and their families are kind of interlinked. So her family kind of like, tells him that, go with her, keep her safe, and he kind of volunteers, but they are still enemies because something has happened. It's in the plot. But what happens is, after the meeting is done, after they are done with the meeting, they get stranded into snow in this hotel room, and they can't get out because there's so much snowfall. No, there's no their car doesn't work, there's no transportation, there are network issues and everything. So they are kind of stranded in this hotel room, and you know what happens. It's one bad trope. It's like, it's so cliche, but I ate it up. It's like the type of trope that you know that you love it. I love the banter in this book. I love the chapters. I love the chemistry between them, really. So another dark romance that I should have been mentioning, like the first, uh, it's called Kill Switch by Penelope Douglas. It is my favorite books of all time. It is extremely dark, check trigger warning. I will tell you why it is forbidden. It takes place in two timelines. So when they are teenagers, it is forbidden because he is the enemy, and her family has basically forbid her to even meet him in school. They have, like, her family has gone into the school and talked to the principal that, you know what, keep my daughter away from this guy, from this boy. So it's like that, forbidden, but they end up meeting anyways. And he ends up sneaking into her house, and she is, I shouldn't be saying this. Okay, I won't say it. And he ends up sneaking into her house, and because of that, the whole romance starts when they are teenagers. But something happens, and they kind of drift apart, and it's very dark. But in the present day, it is forbidden because he comes back in her life as her older sister's husband. Can you imagine? Like, and because of that, it is forbidden pro max, because he is married to someone else. And still, their romance kind of unfolds because there's forced proximity and they live in the same house. I know it sounds crazy. It sounds crazy AF, but the story is amazing. The character development, their past, and the way they just come together, and the quotes. The character, the male main character, is so intriguing and interesting. I'm telling you, it is a part of a series, and I would suggest you to read from the first book. The first books are not that good, in my opinion, but I think you should read it. It's called the Devil's Night series by Penelope Douglas, and Kill Switch is the third book. So good. It's I love it. It's one of my favorite books of all time. Please read it, please. If you can handle the trigger warnings. If Another book I want to recommend is called Tone's Duet by Rena Kent. It is a duet, and the first book is their high school romance, and the second book is kind of forbidden because she ends up marrying someone else, and there's a 7 year leap in the book, and so that romance in the second book takes place while she is married to someone else. So there's like forbidden romance in that. This book is the type of book where the male main character is so dedicated towards her, so dedicated. Like, he doesn't care that she betrayed him. He doesn't care that she left him over a text and came back 7 years later without any explanation, and and married to someone else. Like, he doesn't care. He's so dedicated, and I just love Sebastian. And you gotta read this book if you're in this type of mood, like, Another one is Kingdom Duet by Rena Kent. It is forbidden because he is her sister's ex-husband. Because he is her dead sister's ex-husband. And there is a lot of age gap. She's 27 and he's like 47, 48. There's major age gap. It is it is so it is so wrong and forbidden because, like, he's he's her sister's husband and her sister is dead, and years later they kind of come into each other's contact, and there's a lot of like banter going on. And I won't say much because it's in the plot and I don't want to spoil it, but I will just tell you why it is forbidden. And oh my god, and it is so steamy, so filthy, forbidden. I loved it. I ate up every single chapter and every single interaction of them. I loved this book. And the next book I want to recommend is Scarred by Emily McIntyre. I've talked about this book, I think. It is dark romance. It takes place in the 19th century, like in old times. And it is forbidden because he is betrothed to his older brother who is going to be a king. And he is like the main character. The male main character is like the second son who is like rebellious and wants to, like, throw off the kingdom and all of that. And she's basically betrothed to his brother, so it's forbidden, the whole romance. And it all takes place and they secretly meet each other, and there are all these rendezvous and they're like hiding from everyone, and it's like, oh my god, it is so wrong, we shouldn't be doing this. And all that forbiddenness. It is so steamy and so freaking delicious to read this book. Like, every single line and their interaction is amazing. Okay, it's dark as well, so check trigger warning. Next book I want to recommend is Dark Notes by Pam Godwin, and it is forbidden because she is a minor. She is like 17 and he is her professor. I know, I know, it is super, super wrong, but it is extremely dark. She has such a dark past. She's so many tragic things has happened in her life, and there are major trigger warnings, so please check them. And it is forbidden romance, like forbidden, because there's age gap and he is her professor. I recommend you some soft romance, kind of, but like steamy ones, and forbidden, obviously. The first one is called Deserts for Stressed People by Latiza Lorini. It is forbidden because he is her boss, as well as she already has a boyfriend. I mean, obviously she's cheating on her, but like, she already has a boyfriend. She's taken. So she shouldn't be like romancing with her boss. It is super wrong and forbidden, but it was really interesting. There's secret identity thing going on because they don't know that they're texting each other on this app, and he just doesn't know that he is like texting her coworker. Like, there's this whole forbidden thing going on, but I love this book. Another one I want to recommend is It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. It's really popular. You probably have read it. It's forbidden romance uh because he already has an ex-wife. Like, he was married to someone else and he's still wearing her ring. And she kind of, in the initial chapters, she kind of thinks that, oh, he's married. So there's this forbidden romance trope going on. But like, as the book progresses, they kind of know that she kind of knows that his wife passed away, and he's just like kind of feels guilty about what happened. And it is all the plot, but it is really, really steamy. Then also I want to recommend Fairy Tale by Veronica Lonsett. It's a gothic romance. It's like 700 pages long. But it is forbidden because everyone keeps telling her that do not like spend time with this guy because he's a demon, he's so dangerous, he's going to kill you basically. But she just can't help herself, because the male main character Amon is just like so charming and so precious, and it is forbidden because every single person, even her mother, forbids her to be with him because he's like, oh my god, he's a demon, he's going to kill you. But the story is like something else. So that's this book. And I want to recommend some popular ones which you probably have read. But if you are living under the rock and haven't heard of this book or haven't read this book because you're insane, then please, I'm going to remind you. I'm going to do God's work and remind you that this popular book exists and you need to read this, okay? Anyways, I got too passionate as usual. Anyways, so I want to recommend this book. It's called The Maddest Obsession by Danielle Laurie. It is a forbidden romance pro max because she is a mafia wife and he is a corrupted FBI officer. And there's a lot of forced proximity because they have to work with each other. They always find themselves together in some party or some social occasion because he's there for business and she's there because it's her family, you know? And she is uh she is already like married to someone else and he's an officer. And he is so in love with her, so psychotically obsessed with her, but they can't do anything because they just can't be together. And there's this whole forbidden romance trope going on. Oh my god. And there are like we can see years and years of them being living separate lives and finding themselves drawn to each other, but they just can't be together for some reason because it's always forbidden. And I love this book. Like Christian Alistair, the male main character of this book, is so like, oh my god, he's so dreamy. Like obviously he's corrupted, he's morally gray, and he's dangerous. He could probably kill you, but like he's so charming. Anyways, so another book I want to recommend is called Sinners Anonymous by Somi Sketcher. It is forbidden because she is engaged to this older guy who's like 70-year old. Obviously she has her reasons why she did that. She's 21 and she is engaged to someone who's 70-year old, like the age of her grandfather. But the romance is between her and his nephew. Yeah. And there's still age gap because the main male character, who is her fiance's nephew, is like 36-year old and she's 21. So there's a lot of age gap thing going on, and he always misunderstood that she's a gold digger, that she's marrying her uncle because she wants the money and all of that. It's also mafia romance, by the way. But she has her reasons. Then he comes to know that no, she's marrying her uncle because, oh my god, she has all this thing going on, and there's a lot of banter. They hate each other. There's some misunderstanding, but it's entertaining. It's not annoying, you guys. And it is so there is also like, there is extreme level of slow burn, and then there are smutty chapters and the character development and the banter, and oh my god, I love this book. Then I want to recommend a soft romance, sort of. It's Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood, and it is forbidden romance because he is her boyfriend's older brother. Like she is really broke and she needs some extra money, so she kind of fake dates people, and that's how she meets this guy. And then she's at a party. Obviously she has to attend some parties. That's what fake dating is all about, right? And she ends up meeting her fake boyfriend's older brother, and this is the romance between them. So obviously like she can't be with him and he can't be with her because like there is this whole misunderstanding. And then I think at 40% the whole misunderstanding clears and he comes to know that it was all fake, and she had to do it because she has her reasons. And oh my god, it was so forbidden. And then he belongs to a committee which is I'll explain it to you. She wants a job, and he, like the older brother, the main male character, is a member of that committee, so she can get a job without his like vote. So there's this whole forbidden romance that they shouldn't be like getting close to each other because there's the whole professional dilemma going on. And I just love this book because the male main character is so precious and so dedicated towards her. He's like the greenest green flag ever. The interactions between them and the way that he is with her is so wholesome. And I loved loved this book so much. I love every Ali Hazelwood book, but this was like something else. The male main character is like so, like, I want to love like him. Like, I want a husband like him. I can't say anything else. Like, that's it. I hope I convinced you. Then I should be mentioning this book. It's called Empire of Lust by Rena Kent. And it is forbidden because they have a daughter together, and they kind of uh, are in a secret relationship, in this enemies with benefits relationship, and their daughter doesn't even know. Like, there's a whole forbiddenness, and I don't think I should be talking much because I'll end up spoiling it. But like, they are mortal enemies, and the whole world believes that they hate each other, and because they're like so openly like mortal enemies, but they are having this enemies with benefits relationship, and because of that, it's like so forbidden. It's so filthy, and there are so many angry confessions, and I talked about it in my specific recommendation video, so you can go there and know more about this book. I'm not gonna repeat it. Okay, so next book. I just completed reading this book. It's called My Ruthless Opponent by Sanjana Nidhi. I really like love this book, and it is forbidden because again they are enemies. They work at the same office, but they are competing for a promotion, and there's a whole fake dating aspect because to get a client they have to pretend that they are engaged to one another, and they go to this island, this Maui, and they pretend that they are in love with each other. They pretend that they are like not enemies, and they are fiancés, and like fiancés, is that a word? Like, they are engaged to each other, and they have to pretend like they're so in love, where actually they hate each other's guts. So there's a lot of enemies with benefits relationship happens. There's a lot of banter, and she's kind of badass, and he's a bad boy, and it's the whole, like, it's really steamy, and I love this book. Then I'm going to recommend some romance, which is also forbidden. And so the first book I want to recommend is the Him series by Serena Bowen and Al Kennedy. It's a sports romance. They are both in hockey, and it is forbidden because they have been childhood best friends, but something happens and they kind of drift apart, and then they meet each other again 3 years later. And what happened is, I'm not gonna tell you because it's the plot, but it is forbidden romance because it is romance, and one of them is openly gay, like not openly gay, but he's gay, and one of them is straight. At least he believes that he's straight. So this is all forbidden because of that. And I want to tell you the story because it's so interesting, but I won't because you should probably read this book. It's so amazing. Another book I want to recommend, which also falls under romance and forbidden, is God of Fury by not Veronica, God of Fury by Rena Kent, and it's romance, and they both belong to this enemy group in the college, where they have this cult kind of secret society thing going on, but it's dark romance, so check trigger warning. And so they are enemies, and they shouldn't be like attracted to each other or having this whole secret relationship. So because of that, it is really forbidden because no one really knows that they are actually like meeting behind everyone's back and are basically in a relationship. So because of that, it's forbidden. I think I recommended you a lot of books, and to be honest, I still haven't like scrolled further down in my Goodreads account because I think I have like few more books under this trope, but I think these books are enough. And I had so much fun filming this video as usual. And anyways, I really hope that you got. I know that you got some really good recommendations from this video, and you loved it, and you loved listening to me. I just know it. So please, please subscribe, please like and comment, and let me know that you loved it. It motivates me to film more videos, and if you have any more suggestions, then please do tell me. Anyways, so bye. Have a great day.